Hi there, on the Diagnostics bench this morning, on a Saturday morning, is a jump start setup again. I've got my excellent DAD 7000 here that I bought without front panel buttons, and that's my unit at the moment. And what I do is I have pluggable DACs that I can use to test other DACs. Just pull out a DAC and test a DAC in there. Also, obviously, I have a pluggable Diagnostics module in there. So yeah, this is my test unit and my reference unit basically. What I've done, again, this is the second time I've done this, is done a jump start, because this CD-104 here is the one that I got from a recycle centre that was completely destroyed, and there's been a lot of faults on it, and I'm wading through the faults. The CDM1 was faulty in this position here, which is a turntable adjustment screw. There was actually a plastic nut in there, 3D printed nut. Obviously that wasn't going to work, but I've restored it so it's now working, and it's the height, turntable height, is precise. You measure it on the servo board and it's absolutely precise, and everything, the laser current's precise, all the other things are precise, and it seems to work as it should do. But I have this underlying distortion on here, digital tail off distortion. So what I've actually done so far to try and eliminate it is I've replaced connectors here, because these Molex connectors can be a bit troublesome. So I've replaced a few connectors. It wasn't that. I actually substituted this panel board because I had few switch problems anyway, and it wasn't that causing the underlying distortion. Now, obviously, the first thing you would suspect is the decoder board, but I've replaced it with two other ones that I have in stock, and they are exactly the same. It works basically. It works. You can hear the sound fine. Both channels are there, but there's an underlying distortion. So what I've done, obviously, I can't be asked, to be honest with you, to take this assembly out of this working one and take this one out and swap them over. So what I do is a jump start. So I just unplug the connectors on the faulty unit, shall we say, and then plug them into the good unit. Unplug these, obviously. This is all set up, so I know this works 100%, no problems whatsoever. Obviously, you don't have to plug this one in at all, because the power is derived from this unit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the first part of a track with copyright, because I didn't actually put my uncopyrighted music CD in, so I'm hoping it's not going to be flagged. But if I play the first few seconds, hopefully it won't come up with a copyright hit. Anyway, let's just try it. So if I press play here, obviously this, and listen to this. Right, hopefully you heard that, because if I play any more than that, it would be copyrighted. And in fact, this video might be copyrighted already, so I might have to erase this video and remake it with a shorter clips, or I don't know, try and get some uncopyrighted music. But if you could hear that, it's like a hissing, underlying fizzing noise to the notes, especially when it dies off, and that's called digital tail off distortion. And that's normally a product of the DAC. Or some sort of DAC adjustment, but obviously there's no DAC adjustment in this, and I've replaced the encoder board with two other ones just to double make sure. And no, it's not the decoder board. I've actually ordered a servo board now. The servo board is to do with the error, the tracking of the laser and the error correction, and you actually measure the turntable height of the CDM1 on the servo board. So I'm just wondering whether there's some sort of errors creeping in there, because I noticed as well on this one that it takes a while to read some CDs and won't read pre-recorded CDs, manufactured CDs at all, hardly. It'll read one or two of them, but not all of them, which is unusual. I use Tayo Yuden discs here because they work on these sort of units. They're CDRs, but they're Japanese and they work. Tayo Yuden, of course, was the first manufacturer of CDs in Japan, and they're still going. And sometimes they're under the JVC brand, but Tayo Yuden are very good for these. They're very good quality, and they work in these units here. But yeah, so I've tried all sorts of discs in there, and some ones that are pre-recorded, they've got less distortion than others. So it does seem to be a problem with reading the CDs. This is why I'm doing the jump start, and as you could just hear then, there's still distortion exactly the same. So I know that this CDM is okay. I know that the decoder board's okay. I know that the panel board's okay. The power supply I've been through with a fine tooth comb, but I'm probably going to swap that over now anyway with this one, physically swap it over, because there might be some sort of anomaly that I can't scope on there or something slightly off. But I've already got a servo board on order. That's the only part that hasn't been replaced in this. So I hope very soon to have this one repaired and restored, and then it's going to go on eBay. I'm going to flog it for what I can get for it. Obviously, it's there's a lot of time gone into it, components. I've recapped a lot of stuff, so it's not going to be necessarily cheap, but it will be working 100% and sounding really, really good by the time it leaves the electronics here. So unfortunately, nowadays it's hardly worth buying up faulty CD-104s or B&O CDXs or any of the derivatives. It's hardly worth buying them from eBay now because the prices are so high on even faulty equipment. I used to buy these in for £25 to £50, non-working ones. Now you're looking at over £100 for a non-working one, and by the time you've done all the work on it and replaced boards or whatever you need to do, recapped, you just cannot get your money back, really. Although these in good condition do seem to go for a lot of money, but only from places like Germany or the Eastern Bloc. They seem to go for a lot more money, and I don't think they sell here in England. In England, they don't like to pay too much for these things. So, perhaps I'm flogging a dead horse here, but I know that there are people that know about my Delatronics mod here, and are probably keen to get their hands on something like this, because with this mod and these DACs, these 1540 DACs, twin DACs, you can't beat the sound quality. You just can't. I've got people belonging to audio clubs and things like that. I've got a customer that I modified his CD player. He takes it to his friends at the audio club, puts his player on, and they just go, "That is unbelievably good sound." And it's wiping the floor. In his words and in other people's words, it just wipes the floor with really, really expensive high-end players that you can get now. There's just something about these musically. On paper, the 1540 is obviously rubbish because it's a 14-bit DAC. But what people fail to realize is 14 bits is perfectly good enough. We're not talking 8-bit here. 14 bits is perfectly good. And 16 bits in the later players when they released the 1541, which is another good DAC, but not quite as good as this one. 1541 was basically a budget version of these twin DACs here. It's all in one DAC, a stereo DAC. It's not as musical and as organic, shall I say, as the 1540. But obviously with the oversampling on, it sounds like it's got a veil over it. It just doesn't sound open and dynamic. But obviously once you NOS it, it improves it incredibly. And with my a reclocking kit which cleans up all the data, it's a different world. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.